Okay, so this video is just tips on how to learn new words. But before I give you the tips, I want to explain word knowledge. What does it really mean to know a word? What does that mean? Does that mean you know how to spell it? Does that mean you've heard it before? Does it mean you know the definition? What does it mean, right? So there's lots of different levels of understanding a word or word knowledge. I've heard 7 levels, 4 levels, 2 levels. I'm just going to go with an easy number, 4 levels. I usually tell my students there's 4 levels because then it helps them to focus on the words they really need to learn and then maybe not focus so much on other words. When you say you know a word, what does that really mean? Okay, so let me show you what I tell my students. There's the first level, which is I've never seen this word before. I have no idea what this word means. I've never heard it. I've never seen it. I have no idea. Okay, that's one level. So if you find a word like that, you really want to do work to understand it, right? The second level is I've seen this word, but I don't know what it means. I've heard this word, I've seen this word, but I'm not sure what it means. Okay, so that's good. That means you have some experience with the word, but you don't really know how it's used. So you still need to do some work. The next level is I can understand the meaning of this word when I read it or hear it. Now that's good. It's like you understand the definition of the word, but maybe you can't use it yet. Okay. So then the last level of word knowledge is I can understand the meaning of the word and I can use it confidently on my own. That's the goal, right? We don't want to say that we know the definition of a word. That's not very helpful to know the definition if you can't use the word in your own writing and speaking, right? So the goal for everyone is to get to the 4th level where they know the meaning of the word and they can use it confidently on their own, okay? If you kind of know the meaning or you've seen it before, you're not sure, you just know the definition, that's not enough. Okay, so then you want to keep trying. Okay, so then in the next part of this video, I'm just going to show you some tips on how to learn new words. Okay, so some of the tips I give my students, of course, read and listen to things you're interested in. Okay, listen and read in the language you are learning. Okay, so and when you do that, you will find new words that you don't know. I do it too. Even in English, there's words I don't know. Okay. So you listen to words or you read the words and you don't know it. So then you're encouraged and motivated to learn them, right? So the first tip, of course, is use a dictionary. Okay. Using a dictionary, I know maybe you don't want to walk around with a paper dictionary. That's okay. We have phone dictionaries now. If you have a smartphone, you can get a phone dictionary on your phone, an app. There's so many, okay? But one that I really like and the one that I tell my students about, it's the Longman English Learners Dictionary. So this is what it looks like. And so it's a great dictionary because it gives you all the information you need to really learn a word, I think. Okay, so let's put an example with the word recover. Okay, I'm just going to put the word recover. Okay, so you can see in this dictionary, you have the word there. Okay, and it tells you this thing right here. Wait, let me get rid of this ad. For goodness sakes. Gosh, there's so many ads. Oh, okay. I don't know how to get rid of the ads. This is not useful, right? that they show these ads so big. How am I? And then when you use a dictionary, you can see all the important things that you need to know when you're learning a word. And maybe you think, oh, I don't want to read all this. This is so much information. But actually, this is what's going to help you really learn words. So the first thing I say is look at the word family, or you can say the part of speech. So recovery is a noun. Nouns are person, place, things, ideas. Recover is a verb. That's an action or a state, right? So if you know the parts of speech of a word, you don't just learn the word recovery, you learn you actually learned two words, recover and recovery. The word recovery, noun is recovery, verb is recover. So that's my first tip after using a dictionary. Use a dictionary and then know the part of speech, okay? And then looking at this dictionary, you can go down and you could even hear the pronunciation of a word. This one has British and American English pronunciation. You can also look at the IPA symbols. It's written in IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, if you can read that. And then you can see this sign where it says AWL. AWL means it's an academic word list word, and that is a word that you will see in academia. So if you are in college or university, these words are going to show up a lot in your reading. So then after that, after you learn the part of speech, of course, you should also look at the definition of a word. Now, some words have lots of definitions. And that can be really frustrating. But if you read an example sentence, you can actually understand the definition sometimes, not always. If you can't understand the definition or the meaning of the word, then of course you need to look at the definition in the dictionary. So again, with my example of the word recovery, look, 1, 2, 3. There's three definitions. Okay, so I'm going to look at the first one. It says, it is the process of getting better after an illness, injury, etc. So that's a definition. All right. And then it gives you an example. Doctors expect him to make a full recovery. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the next definition. The second one, the process of returning to a normal condition after a period of trouble or difficulty. So in this one, it's a little bit different from illness or injury. It could be something else. So hopes of economic recovery are fading. So this is talking about a recovery from economic hardship. And then the third definition says, when you get something back that has been taken or lost. So here's the example, the recovery of the stolen money, right? So you recover something that was gone. That is the recovery of something. That's different from those first two examples. Totally different. Similar, but different. So make sure you understand the difference in those definitions, but also please read those examples. The examples I think are more important sometimes than the definition, because sometimes you can just read the example and understand the meaning, but not always. Okay, so now parts of speech. We've talked about. So know the parts of speech, the word families, right? Look at the definitions, look at the examples, all right? And now I'm also going to tell you that you should also look at collocations. A collocation, you're like, oh God, this is too much. But it's so good for you. If you really want to know how to speak fluently and use your words in a confident way, you need to learn the words that go with other words. So when we use the word recovery or recover, we often use that word with other words, the same other words every time, okay? So a collocation in a good dictionary like this one will have, in the definition under a word, you will see recovery from, or down here, recovery of, or up here, make a full, make a good, make a remarkable recovery. These are words that often go together with the word recovery. Full recovery, good recovery, recovery from, recovery of. These are called collocations. And if you can learn these collocations by listening, reading, studying a word well, then you're going to be able to use those collocations and be more fluent when you're speaking and writing. Okay, so please know the collocations. This dictionary even breaks down the collocations for verbs that go with the word recovery. Make a recovery, speed up someone's recovery, aid someone's recovery. It gives adjectives that go with the word recovery, a full recovery, a good recovery, a remarkable recovery, a speedy recovery. So you can see this is great. This is really great. And if you want to go over to the word recover, the verb, right? If you click on that, it will take you to even more collocations, hopefully. It might not always have them. You might have to look at a different part of that word. Parts of speech, right? Next is definitions. Next is examples, and then collocations. Okay, then next, you need to learn the grammar of the words. Okay, if it's a noun, can it be a count noun? Can it be a non-count noun? Is it count or is it non-count? Recovery? Can I have a recovery or do I have recovery? I have a recovery. It's a count noun. It can be non-count too. So you need to look at those little details, because if it's a count noun and you make it plural, you can add an S. If it's a non-count noun, you can't make it plural ever, right? Another thing is if you use it, can you use it with a gerund or an infinitive when it's a verb, right? When you're using gerunds and infinitives, right? ing or to. Sometimes we use a gerund after a verb. Sometimes we use an infinitive after a verb. And it's always important to kind of learn those rules too when you're learning about a new word. So this dictionary also will give you a little bit of grammar background. But I say at least learn if it's count or non-count. Okay. And then, of course, finally, just practice. Practice using the word as much as you can. Write it down using sentences on your own real life sentences, or use it in speaking. And then maybe after a few times, sometimes I hear the word 7. The number 7 is a good number. Other times I hear like 20. But really, if you know a word well, you know its definition, you've seen examples, you know its collocations, and you've seen like the grammatical aspects of a word, then when you try to use it 7 times or whatever that magical number is, then you're going to probably have more success faster. Okay. All right, so those are my tips, and I really hope that it helped you and that you can use these strategies as you're learning in any class or in any way that you're learning a new language.